What's up, guys? How's it going? Today, moving on to our next lesson in inequalities. We're going to talk about how to write and graph them. So we talked about how to use them or how to read them, and now we're going to learn how to write our own and then show them visually on a graph. So basically what it looks like today is if we find a situation here where you can say something using an inequality. For example, Jessica spent more than $5 at the arcade. That's a number we don't know, right? A variable. But to determine how much she spent at the arcade, we don't know, but we can represent how much she spent at the arcade by graphing it. For example, if we know that she spent more than $5, then on a number line, we could show, oh, well, here's $5. Where would the numbers be to represent the money that she spent? Well, its number's bigger than 5 because she spent more than 5. So she could have spent 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or she could have spent all of this money right here. So we could show this on like a graph and say, this is the money that she spent. This is not, right? She didn't spend $1, $2, $3, $4, or $5. She spent more than 5. So this is the money that she spent. This one here says less than 6 people rang the bell on the mallet game. Less than 6 people. That would be like 5 people or 4 people or 3 people. That wouldn't be 10 people or any of these numbers up here. So we would show that by, say, graphing less than 6. It wasn't 6 people, but just say less than 6, right? All of these ones down here. This could be shown by just graphing that direction. Number 3 here says there were less than 10 people in line for the Ferris wheel. So how many people were in line for the Ferris wheel? Well, could have been 9, could have been 8, could have been 7, could have been all these less than 10, right? But not these ones up here. Okay? So this is the general idea of how we would show an inequality in the form of a graph. Here, Max, will you hold these for me, bud? Thank you. Now, what we're going to jump into real quickly here is how can we write an inequality, right? Those inequalities that we've seen, how can we write them ourselves? And here's what it looks like. We have a scenario here. It says you must be at least 16 years old to have a driver's license. So let's write an inequality for all the people that are allowed to have a driver's license. How old can you be to have a driver's license? Can you be 10 years old? No. Can you be 12? No. Can you be 20 years old? Absolutely, right? 20, 21, 22. We're talking about all these numbers that are 16 or older. So how do we write an inequality to show that? Well, let's start with a variable. Let's say A for age. And in order to have a driver's license, Did I annoy you, bud? Let's say A for age. Now, how do we show that this is bigger than or equal to 16, right? You can be 16. You could also be bigger. Well, we know that we want to say greater than, right? Your age can be greater than, but it could also be equal to the age of 16. And now we have an inequality that says your age, in order to have a driver's license, needs to be greater than or equal to 16. Oh, you don't want to help me anymore, bud? Why don't you guys try to write an inequality for this one really quick? You must be older than 13 to play in the basketball game. You must be older than 13. See if you can write the inequality for this one. You must be older than 13. So I would say let's use A for age again. All right? Your age must be what? Greater than 13 or less than 13? Greater than or equal to 13 or less than or equal to 13? Your age says you must be older than 13. So your age must be greater than 13 to play in the basketball league. Not greater than or equal to, because it says you have to be older than 13. You can't be 13. Here's another one. Write an inequality for this sentence. To use one stamp, your domestic letter must weigh under 3.5 ounces. It has to weigh underneath that. So we need the weight of the letter. Let's use W. And that must be under 3.5 ounces. So how do we show that this is less than? Can't be equal to 3.5 ounces, right? It has to be underneath it. So we would use just a symbol less than 3.5. The weight must be less than 3.5. let's go ahead and jump into graphing these inequalities, okay? Now, once we've been able to write them, and we get an inequality, say like n is greater than 9, then we can put it on a number line. And that's what it means to graph an inequality. We just put it on a number line, like I was showing you at the beginning of the video. But it looks like this. Basically, you just show me where the answers are. If I say that n is greater than 9, then you think, oh, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. These are all the answers. So on the number line, you show me, and you fill in, you say, oh, this is where all the answers are. So I fill in that way, right? Now, there's one very important thing that we're going to learn today in this graphing. There are two ways you can put a circle right here on the number 9, right? If n is greater than 9, you can either put a full circle like that, or you can fill it in. And the way you know is, and I'm going to put this in the video right here, and you can pause this and come back to it if you need it. If the sign is less than or greater than, it is a circle that is empty, like this, like the one we have in this one here. If it is less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, then you actually fill that circle in on the graph. That's the only real thing you have to memorize today. And it's kind of important. So let's take a look at an example real quick. The first one we have here that says A is less than 15. So we need the numbers that are less than 15. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to 15. I'm going to put my finger on it. And all the numbers that are less than are this way. So I know I'm graphing this way. The question is, do I use that open circle or do I use a closed circle? Well, if it is just less than or greater than, it means it cannot be 15, right? It's got to be less than 15. So it can't be 15. So we actually just don't fill the circle in. You only fill the circle in if it can be that number. It can't be 15, right? We want everything less than 15. So then we just shade in everything less than 15 that way. And that's what our graph looks like here. And this one here says that B is greater than or equal to 7. So I know we're going to be working from 7. So I'm going to go ahead and put a circle on 7. Now the question is, do I fill in that circle or do I leave it empty? Well, can it be equal to 7? Can B be equal to 7? It sure can, because it's greater than or equal to 7. So we fill that circle in. And then now, where are all the numbers that are greater than or equal to 7? Well, they're up this way. So then we just only graph that way. There you go. And that's how you show your inequality on a graph. Good luck on today's assignment, guys. And let me know if you have any questions. And have a good weekend. Peace out.